Daytona. Everybody ready, set, go. Rev it up and let's roll. There's a party in the fast lane. Got my hands flying. Heartbeat loud as the thunder rolls. Riding in on a stampede of lightning. I'm bringing back the sunshine. Bringing back the sunshine. Baby, it's about time. Oh, bring it back. Oh,
Hello everybody and welcome to Daytona International Speedway. It's time for the Duels as we are here under the lights for the Blue Grade Mutations Duels. In the booth alongside me for Duel number 1, we're going to have a drivers only cast here today. Dominic Anthony and Jerry Chen, they'll be racing in Duel 2 where they're joining us up here in the booth. Guys, how are we doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm glad to be able to be up here for the first duel and kind of observe how things are going to go before the second duel, so me and Jerry can get out there with some extra knowledge of what's going to happen.
Great day out here in Florida.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think for you guys being up here, it's going to be a little bit of a cheat code here. You guys kind of have an all-22 view of what's going on, but excited to have you guys up here in the booth. And Jerry, Dominic, I'll let you guys take it away from here.
Thanks, Tyson. Let's just start off with the keys to the race here. Daytona, everybody knows it. Very, I would say the most famous track that we have. And, this is the lead up to the 500. Everybody's going to try to get a good finish tonight. So we got 2.5 miles here in Daytona. 33-degree banking. It's going to be a very, very high-intensity race. We have people not make it to the 500. I know I have teammates that might not make it to the top 15 drivers. Locking into the see what everybody does.
Yeah, you and me both. It should be a great race. The plate races last year were very exciting, and I know I'm partial to them because I won 2 of them with my team, but it should be a great show tonight, even with half the field size.
Yeah, you mean our team, right?
Yeah, sure. Well, not our team anymore. But anyway, I want to highlight some of our starting lineup here. First guy I want to highlight is Chris Lilly. He put it on the pole last night in single car qualifying, so he's locked himself into the show regardless of what happens tonight. He just wants to keep the car clean and keep that pole position for Sunday. What about you, Jerry?
Oh, and I gotta talk about my boy Jonah Burridge. International up in Mexico. With us in the 53 car, did a fantastic job. With the drive car, trying to make it to the Daytona 500. He's got to finish in the top 15 though, because it's an open car, no driver's points about.
Speaking of people who have to race their way in tonight, we have a couple people in new teams this season. Jeremy Mead is a rookie this season. He's driving the 60 for Bones Motorsports. Then we also have Sean McKean driving for his self-owned team in a return for the first time since Season 2. And then we also have Stephen Colin and Carson Green, 2 rookies for Full Send Racing and Lamar Racing, respectively. And then rounding out the field is Nathan Stapleton for Henrico Racing.
Yeah, a lot of drivers with new teams, a lot of drivers needing to make it. It's going to be an exciting race. I can't wait to see what happens in these, 60, but it's going to out of the car in about 20-25 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to say, it's definitely going to be a sprint here, especially if they get a few cautions to start burning laps. It's really going to get to crunch time pretty quickly, so we'll have to see what the level of urgency is like here.
As we see, pace cars about to pull off now. We're about to start. Well, I guess not the first official race of the season, but here we go, Dom. This is the time to really get it.
Yeah, green flag in the air here for duel number 1. We'll see if Chris Lilly can get a good start here from pole position. It looks like Logan Williams actually got a pretty decent start on the top there and is almost clear of the inside line before they get to turn 1 here. I believe that's Reed Simpson pulling out on the bottom to make it 3 wide already.
Yeah, there's Yuko and Jonah Burge following Reed Simpson down to the low line, so it's already 3 wide out back, 2 cars in front. Looking like Chris Lilly got his lead back, but right alongside in number 17.
And it looks like Reed Simpson's going to keep this 3 wide thing going up all the way to the front row here, try to take the lead. Interesting to note that he is teammates with Chris Lilly. The team actually changed hands over the offseason from him to Chris Lilly and got renamed to Toyota Racing North America. But interesting that they're not trying to work together there. Reed Simpson's just doing it on his own on the bottom there.
Behind them, though, 2 drivers trying to work together. We're now riding on board with Jonah Burge in that American Airlines car. He's pushing his team owner, 54 Bears Yuko, along. Seemingly, Yuko and Reed are now clear of the field in the lead. Yuko trying to decide what he wants to do. Looking back, Richard Fridge for Daffy racing right on the tail of the 55.
Kind of a close moment there with Simpson and Yuko kind of not deciding if they were clear or not, but they kept it together there. Already 3 wide all the way out through the pack. Very intense stuff early here.
Leading this lap, I believe, will be Yuko. Good job, boss. He's up front now, trying to...
All right, let's cut back on the glazing here. You never did this to me last season.
You weren't in a car last season, Dom.
Okay, well, I was doing a good job in the corporate office.
Hey, look who's in the lead!
It's your man, Jonah Burge. Once again, just like Sean McKean, he's racing for the first time since Season 2, and he's looking to make an impression here.
Jonah Burge, as we all know, couldn't get a deal done over the offseason to join a team full-time, so he's only got the open races now, and he starts here in Daytona with a 55 car. He's trying to make a name for himself, but he's going to be battling with his team owner as another lane forms on the bottom. That's going to be the 97 car.
Yeah, new driver for Bones Motorsports this year, Jeremy Mead, in the Aflac-sponsored car, trying to take the lead here. Another guy that wants to make an impression. You know, he has a full-time ride, but if you're a rookie in this series, you got something to prove because it's a revolving door every year. Not everyone's going to get a ride.
Yeah, for sure. The competition in this series has seriously, I think, gone up. You know, being on track every week, being on track every week, it shows me the intensity that these guys around me, you know, everybody's fighting for only so many spots.
And we've got some dark horse racing cars up here at the front of the field now. Kaz Gralla leading that lap ahead of Justin Haley and then Quentin Haley. So some mild teamwork going on here. Not 3 in line, but 2 in line and 1 on the outside. We'll see how long this lasts for.
Yeah, we seem to see a lot of teamwork going together, pushing everybody to the lead, but once we get to the lead, we kind of fan out, trying to decide who wants to take the glory. Right now, the 3 car seemingly has an advantage over the 99 on the top lane, but it seems that the bottom line is stronger here.
Yeah, something we typically see happen is, you know, you'll get to the lead on the bottom, and then if you make a move to the top, you'll kind of start to cycle back again. So ideally, you want to protect the bottom, but it's difficult to do that sometimes.
Yeah, that's why we see Kaz Gralla in the 3 car kind of, sliding up and down the track, trying to hold the lead. He's got a pretty healthy lead now, but again, you don't want to lose the draft. So as we're on lap 6 now, it's Kaz Gralla out front with his teammate Justin Haley in second. 3 Chevrolets up front.
And speaking of getting cycled to the back, we were just talking about that. Our front row people, Chris Lilly and Logan Williams, they are all the way at the back of the pack now, so that just goes to show how quickly it can happen. They were 1-2 to start the race, and now before the end of lap 6, they're hanging out at the back, and if a wreck happens, they're going to be right in the danger zone.
Yeah, I think with both of those drivers are not going to be in danger of missing the race. But somebody who is going to be in danger of missing the race, who's all the way in the back, is Carson Green in the number 40 car.
Yeah, new team for this season, Lamar Race Shops, obviously started by Garrett Lamar, who drives for CRT. Kind of got a 2311 thing going on where he drives for one team and owns another. It's actually a very ambitious plan by him to come out of the gates with 3 full-time cars, so we'll see how that works out for him. But yeah, Carson Green is got to get a move on here, ideally.
We got some more movement up front. They're trying to go 3 wide. Not quite sure of it. Up front is still Casgala, though. Huge lead again for the rest of the field. But in the second row, you see the 99 and you see the 97, and sandwich in the middle. Can't quite tell what car that is.
I believe it's the 31 of Quentin Haley. And honestly, for Kaz Gralla, this is the longest we've seen someone lead in this race yet. He is absolutely in control right here. So we'll see if Richard Fridge can do anything once he gets up here. This is the first time someone's really broken free from the pack that isn't one of Kaz Gralla's teammates, so we'll see how that goes.
For sure. And now you see Richard Fridge is getting up with him. Usually when you're out here at Daytona too well, you get up to the lead and you kind of lose the draft, and it's hard to stay in the lead. So right now we've got a battle going on for the lead. It's Richard Fridge on the inside for DAF Racing versus Kaz Gralla, who's kind of been dominating this race for the past couple of laps. But lap 9, Richard Fridge will pretty easily clear Kaz Gralla for the lead. See if he moves up to do any blocking. Looks like Kaz Gralla got a run going. Now they're kind of side by side again, coming down the back straight.
That was a really interesting 2-car breakaway there. You don't see that very often, where two guys are side by side miles ahead of the pack, but the pack has caught them now with them running side by side for almost an entire lap. We'll see what Michael Guthrie can do here. Who he's going to choose to go with. If anyone, he's going to make it 3 wide on the bottom.
Well, we're back to being 3 wide. The huge lead that Kaz Gralla had kind of disappeared, and now we got a 3-horse right up front. 2 Chevys and a Ford. That's Michael Guthrie on the inside, Richard Fridge in the middle, with a little less help than everybody everywhere else, so he's probably going to have to decide where to go.
We've got one of our at-risk cars up here, the 66 of Stephen Boland. He definitely wants to put it in the top 5 here, or anywhere in the top 15 really, but obviously top 5 is better. But he's one of the guys that's in the most danger of missing this race, so he definitely wants to keep it up here.
Got Kyle Maybe here on the left side of your screen on the bottom line, trying to get something going. I think he was waiting a little bit for his 4 teammate Michael Guthrie to slide down below him, but he's not doing it, so... Man, that 40 car, it's a great looking car too, the Travelers Whiskey car, but it seems to be off the pace.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's really struggling to hang on with the pack here. He hasn't fully lost the draft by any means, but he's not tucked right up like you'd expect him to be, so it'd be interesting to see. Maybe something's going on underneath the hood of that 40 car or something, but definitely not the run he was hoping for.
Yeah, we're coming up to 5 to go here, and if you look at the back of the field, you got guys like Carson Green and Jordan Burge kind of in risk of missing the race here. They got to get a move on, try to get something going. As you see, Burge and Carson Green too both run to the low lane. Let's see if they can get something going over there. Meanwhile, up front for the lead, well, Richard Fridge is still in the lead, but the top 3 cars kind of broke away from the rest of the field. That's gonna be the 51 of Michael Guthrie.
Yeah, got the 33 of Robbie Gordoff up there as well. Really the first time we've seen a CRT car tonight really show its face. But Robbie had a great rookie season last year. He was disappointed to not win a race, but I'm sure he'll get it done this season with how he's been running. Looking for a strong start here.
And behind them, it's the 88 of Blake Walker. That's also a car that's going to need to race its way in, and now they're in a really good position now. 4 to go here.
Yeah, we talked about it before the race. This is really going to fly by with it just being 16 laps, and here we are. 4 to go already. We've got some DAF Racing cars here on the bottom. Alexander Rowe and Logan Williams pushing each other up to the lead here, trying to get to their teammate Richard Fridge.
And it's weird looking that car, the 37 car that I drove all season last season out there. Not with me behind the wheel. Obviously, I wish I was in a row in your team. Everything the best. But I think that car looked better with chrome wheels.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll be rooting for you too, buddy. But trying to split the 2 lanes here with Kyle Maybe and Logan Williams, trying to not really committed to either lane here, and neither is Blake Walker. But it's getting down to crunch time here. It's going to take 3 to go at this time by.
Blake Walker, that unsponsored car, one of the less funded teams right now. He's trying to get the top lane going. We got Richard Fridge all the way out front, and then 3 cars, 3 Chevrolets behind him. In 3 wide, it's 2 DAF cars, the 17 Logan Williams, 37 Alexander Rowe. Pretty evenly matched at this point. And look who's behind them. That looks like the...
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it looks like a lot of the people that were at the front at the start of this race have worked their way back up. You got Logan Williams, Chris Lilly, Reed Simpson, Jonah Bridge. These guys are making their charge back and might be just at the right time.
3 laps to go is kind of the sweet spot as far as I'm concerned here at Daytona. If you can position yourself kind of maybe second or third car, as we just took, I think that's going to be a good spot. But you got to make a move at that point. Man,
yeah, and it looks like Chris Lilly's going to force it 3 wide here. That was kind of a risky move there, because when he first started making it, it looked like it was going to be 4 wide, but then the top lane kind of fell back. He's not sure he's going to stay alongside the 17 here. We'll see what happens when they get to turn 3.
Fun now. It's a Daft Racing show. It's almost like they're trying to get a picture. 27, 3 lanes behind them.
Yeah, we really haven't been seeing the cycling that we normally see, where a guy will get to the lead on the bottom and then move up, and then, you know, the next guy will repeat the process. We really haven't been seeing that tonight, which is very out of the norm. We'll see what happens on this last lap here. Richard Fridge looks to still be in control, but Kyle Maybe's coming on the bottom now, and Chris Lilly's going to have some momentum here too.
Looks like he was trying to force 4 wide again over there, but decided against it. That's probably the right call.
If the 27 can just protect the bottom here, he should be in a pretty good spot.
As our view is entirely blocked at this current moment. Coming out, it's still 27 out front, but the 32 of Kyle Maybe kind of pulling ahead of the other 2 DAF cars.
Yeah, 3 wide behind him. It's not going to be enough. Richard Fridge is going to take the win in Duel 1 here. Backing up his Armory Digital win from last season. He's becoming somewhat of a plate racing maestro here. But he will be on the inside of the second row for the Daytona 500 this weekend.
Very exciting.
So very interesting race to spectate. Yeah. Lots of surprises in terms of the actual on-track product right there.
For sure. I think we got to get dressed into our cars, get ready for Duel 2.
Yeah, I'll see you out there. I'll try to keep it ahead of you and throw it back to Tyson here for the official results.
Absolutely, gentlemen. Thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully you guys can put those new notes to use up down there on the track. But Fridge, Rowe, Williams, maybe Walker, your top 5. As you see Marnell, Viscani, Banger, McKean, Colin, Haley, Quentin Haley, that is, all those guys, Nathan Stapleton, Carson Green. They are going to fall victim to however Duel 2 plays out. We'll be right back for Duel number 2. Quick commercial break coming your way.
The Coca-Cola Racing family is a competitive bunch. So when we started getting points, every time we drank a Coke on camera, it became a competition.
Kevin, talk us through those last 50 laps. What was it that got the job done for you out there today?
And when we heard the money would be donated to charity, well, we took it to the next level.
It's really a spectacular display of lightning tonight, but no one is outside to see it. Back to you in the studio, Carol.
All the major indices are up as we near the closing bell, and the S&P 500 is showing.
Lobster, say hi to our viewers. Hello, everybody. Thank you. It was absolutely delightful working with you.
The personal trainer or the other personal trainer. Next on Liquidate.
And a dramatic finish.
Yes, not only do they have to clear the cliffs.
Seeking warmth, the Arctic seals surface to bask in the sun.
The Coca-Cola Racing family, doing our part to help those in need.
We see lots of drama on the drivers that might not make it from Duel number 1, but that's only half the fun. We're here in Duel number 2. Jerry Chen and Dominic Anthony have hopped away from the booth and now are in their fire suits in their cars. But joining me in the booth now for Duel 2 is none other than Johnny Adelaide, the Chief Hype Officer of LIMECAR and DAF Racing Director of Catering, Anthony Dominic. Gentlemen, how are we doing today as the cars are rolling off for this second duel?
Really let anybody into the booth now, huh?
I'm doing great. It's nice to finally get up here. You know, I've never been up here before, actually. But I'm looking forward to a great race, and we'll see what happens here in Duel 2.
Director of catering.
Well, you know,
What
the
do
team
you
owner is
have
a pretty
ordered for your
picky
team
eater,
today?
so it's normally just like fried chicken and pizza. But basically, my job is to not go over budget like Red Bull Racing.
Well, he must have catered a win for duel number one for Richard.
Yeah,
Well,
he
you
catered a
know,
podium sweep actually, but we'll see if we can back that up with the 7 and the 47 here.
you sound an awful lot like the team owner of the Duel 1 winner, and now he's in his car, and he is in third position, Dominic Anthony. He doesn't have any owner's points to back himself up, but here we are in Duel 2. He's going to try to make the race like everyone else in the top 15.
Yeah, and
Finish
it's
top
funny you mentioned
15
that. I was actually
in
just
this
thinking,
duel.
John, or whatever your name is, that you sound kind of similar to Jerry Chen as well. It's a weird coincidence that we got going on here. But as you were saying, not everyone here is locked into the race. The people highlighted in yellow are trying to finish top 15 to best position themselves to make the race. And we'll see how it shakes out. It was a very interesting race in Duel 1. We'll see what happens here.
For sure. Some heartbreaks in Duel 1 with a couple of drivers missing the race, and I'm sure we'll have a couple more here. Let's hopefully, everybody's favorite, Dominic Anthony, Ian McDaniel, the team owners who are just trying to get some experience behind the wheel themselves to have some fun at 500. Hopefully they can make it. But right now we can see pace cars peeling off the field as we're coming up to the green flag. And green's in the air, and here we go from Daytona for duel number 2. Up front, the 48 car. First Dodge that we see lead a lap for the duels.
Yeah, and unlike in Duel 1, the bottom lane is actually getting a better start than the top here. So we'll see how that folds out as it goes through the lap. Because in the first duel, the top lane got the jump initially, but then the bottom lane kind of clawed it back over the remainder of the lap.
Now, 48, Matthew Fastnot, he got locked into the front row of the 500 already, so he does not need to be running this well, but that's not stopping him from taking the lead with this race at the start anyways. But now it's Dominic Anthony, owner of DAF Racing, who hopefully had some good dinner tonight, just in the booth right now, and now leading the race.
Yeah, he just watched his 3 drivers in Duel 1 take 1, 2, 3, and now he's out here in the wind himself, and Henry goes third there on the bottom, so good run to start the race. And interesting thing to note, you mentioned Matthew Fastnot is locked into the race and locked into the front row via his qualifying in the single car session. Chris Lilly, who was that person in Duel 1, ended up clawing back to a pretty decent finish at the end of the night. So he wasn't just conservative riding around in the back. So we'll see what approach Fastnot employs here.
Right now in the lead is Garrett Lamar for CRT, but we got a Bones car on the bottom trying to take the lead away. See if he's able to do it. He looks to be ahead right now as they come down to the green flag. I believe that's the 90 car?
I believe it's the 60. But now that you mention Bones Motorsports, team owner Ian McDaniel is working his way forward on the bottom there, trying to join his teammate.
Zachary Pons in a 60. Riley Gore's in a 60, just kidding.
We'll get it eventually.
Yeah, just the director of catering and chief hype officer, I've been getting a lot of flack online, people calling me names. It's not as easy as you think being a chief hype officer.
You gotta get your hands dirty somehow, man. The bills aren't gonna pay themselves. But we got a defending Daytona 500 champion, Santiago Nicholas for Mudfish Motorsports, working his way up here on the bottom, trying to repeat his performance in the big show. But first, before he can do that, he's got to put in a good run here tonight.
You see consistent 3-wide action throughout the pack. Matter of fact, everybody is 3-wide right now. Besides Ian McDaniel, who just broke out to the lead, and it's all by himself up front. He's going to slide up to the second lane. Let's see if he can have the same type of success that Richard Fridge did in the first duel, where he kind of just got out front and then nobody really was able to get to him. Looks like he's getting challenged right now, though. Not as easy of a time that he is having staying up front. Matter of fact, he just lost the lead to Santiago Nicholas in that 83 car.
Yeah, and second on the bottom there is Aaron Giffen. This is our first time really seeing the new rebranded Aaron Giffen Racing. They rebranded from Kevin Harvick Incorporated last season and also downsized from 4 cars to 2. So it's him in the 62 and then Joe Kraus in the 26. First time we're really getting a look at them. And then behind him is another owner-driver, Brayson Collins, for his single car team, having a good run so far to start the night.
All 3 lanes, obviously you have the bottom lane shuffling, kind of an advantage going on, but they don't look too unevenly matched. Seemingly they're kind of able to keep up with each other. And as I say that, of course, the top lane loses momentum. Up front is Aaron Giffen, though, in that Red Bull Amtrak car.
And, you know, they talked about it in the booth in Duel 1, where typically what you see at the play tracks is you'll get to the lead in the bottom and then shuffle up, and then, you know, the cycle will just repeat. We've been seeing a lot more of that here than we did in Duel 1. This is much more of a traditional plate race than what we saw earlier. So it'll be interesting to see. We've got 2 polar opposites in the duels. Which one is going to happen in the 500?
That, you know, I wonder how the 2 drivers that were up here in Duel 1, once we cut back to the white shot, we'll be able to see how they're doing, because, you know, what they saw in Duel 1 kind of didn't translate here.
Yeah, not at all. And I know the 7 was definitely towards the back of the pack there on the high line. I'm not quite sure where the 53 is right now.
But on the bottom, we have a new driver trying to challenge for the lead. That's the 41 car. Beautiful target.
Yeah, Ricardo Garcia moving over from Mudfish Motorsports to Garrett Lamar Race Shops. So it's the second Lamar Race Shops car we've talked about tonight. Carson Green did not have a good run in Duel 1. He was very much a straggler at the back of the pack, but Garcia is looking to not repeat that fate. He is up here challenging for the lead. And interesting to note, none of the 3 Lamar Race Shops cars purchased owner points to start this season. So all of them are in must top 15 situations. If they finish outside the top 15 in this race, they are going home, no questions asked, regardless of what the owner's point situation is. So definitely urgency in that camp.
Certainly. And an interesting thing to note, looks like Ricardo Garcia wasn't quite able to challenge on that bottom lane drivers. So almost wondering, you know, maybe as the laps wear on, whether that bottom lane advantage kind of fades. And we're kind of seeing what we saw in Duel 1, where the driver up front is able to pull away, if you look at it from this shot over here.
Yeah, interesting observation. Perhaps as the tires wear a little bit more, the top lane becomes a little bit more preferred. We'll have to see if this top lane, which is pretty well formed, actually, if they can start making a run here.
Yeah.
But right now, we've got a kind of a 3-car breakaway in the middle.
Yeah, and coming down that lap, out of the middle lane, it's got a really good run, and you can see that with that that's going to be the Squares Greenhouse Jr. for Astolfo Motorsports. He kind of broke away from the middle pack, and now he's trying to join still Brayson Collins up front. And then it's a 77 of Ethan out to 52, got a massive run, trying to go to the bottom, presumably. Behind.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to help the 77 here. For a moment there, we had 2 teammates side by side, the 46 of Ryan Barone and the 77 of Ethan Harrison. But the 77 is going to get clear now and get to the back bumper of Brayson Collins. We'll see what he does with it. Collins is going to leave the bottom open, and the 77 will drive right through.
Now the top and it's the field is back jumbo together. The Squares Greenhouse Jr. just took the lead away from the 77 of Ethan Harrison, and this is the first time we've seen a duel so far. That's not true at all, actually. Now that I say that, we had 2 bones.
Yeah, Astolfo looks to have brought some pretty good pieces this weekend. Obviously, Jonah Burridge and Aris Yuko, the team owner, both led laps in Duel 1, and now we've got Greenhouse up here. So let's see how that translates once they get, presumably all 5 cars together, that they can work together on Sunday.
Almost went 4 wide there for Harrison. He hesitated a little bit to block all 3 lanes, but they kind of got 37. Henry Guo.
Yeah, Henry Guo, our most recent points-paying Super Speedway winner at Talladega, beating, actually, in a Astolfo Motorsports car, Michael Guthrie, in a photo finish. So he's looking to continue his plate racing prowess here. And on the bottom there, we've got another one of the full scent racing cars, I believe, which is one of the new teams for this season.
See the really trying to jostle position. Henry Guo takes the lead in this race over the Square Greenhouse Jr.
And that is actually not a full scent racing car, my bad, but it's a standalone car.
More professional.
The 64. But Nicholas Soa is now looking to take it 3 wide on the bottom there in the 08.
Henry Guo now doing what we saw Richard Fridge in that racing car doing in the first duel, which is break out up front, take the lead. Not doing it quite to the extent of Richard Fridge, but he's kind of got an advantage. If you look at through the corners, he's consistently faster than the rest of the field.
Yeah, and just as we said in Duel 1, it's flown by here. We're already at 4 to go. So it's not completely unrealistic to maintain this lead here for 4 more laps. I mean, we saw the 27 do it, and before that, the 3 car did it with Casbrala. So it's able to be done.
Squarius, though, not willing to give that up. He's trying to get to the bottom left rear quarter panel of Henry Guo, and I think he's successful coming down the backstretch, see if we can challenge for the lead near the end of this lap here. But again, these 2 cars don't really have anybody else helping them. The Squarius has taken the lead here, though, from Henry Guo, but the 77 of the Chevy is going to get to Ethan Harrison is going to get to Henry Guo's rear end, trying to help him out a little bit. The Squarius kind of alone on the bottom, not a lot of great organization going on.
Yeah, now the pack has kind of caught up to both of these guys. They were on an island there for a little bit, but now we've got 2 fully formed lanes, essentially, and got a third one kind of poking out in the middle there. So at this point, it's just going to be about which lane has more help, which lane is better formed.
For sure. And, you know, one of the drivers that's up there, I believe that's Luna Bennington, Sapphire Technologies, in that Toyota that's trying to form the bottom 3rd lane. Obviously, that's a car that also doesn't have points and needs to finish in the top 15, so they're going to want to challenge for the lead, that entire organization.
Yeah, lots of cars up here that are getting kind of desperate, I'd imagine. Obviously, between the 64, we've already talked about the 41. Not a lot of fallback options for some of these guys. As we come to 2 to go here, 47 has managed to take the lead back on the outside, which is somewhat of a rarity.
Yeah, Henry Guo doesn't have any of that. He's just going to try to fight for the race lead. The Squarius Greenhouse Jr. also has enough points to get into the race, obviously, but they just want to win for the glory.
And what I will say is go ahead.
See the 41 car. Yeah, the 41 car. They're fading in the back. That's the 2nd Lamar Race Drive car that we've seen tonight. Not really doing great. And they, again, need to be top 15 in order to make that race. That's going to be a disappointing day for that organization if the 51 or if the 41 also misses out on it as the green flag comes out.
Yeah, I was going to say the competition from 2nd on back is definitely a lot more threatening to the leader here than it was in Duel 1. In Duel 1, it was, 3 wide all throughout the pack. Nobody could really break away and get a run. But as we see here, Greenhouse has taken it to the inside of Guo. He was kind of by himself there, and he was able to use that to change lanes and get to the low side here.
Yeah, now we're on the final lap, coming down the back. The last time, the Square Greenhouse Jr. versus Henry Guo, 52 versus 47. Wow, that sounds familiar. For now, the Square Greenhouse Jr. has the lead coming off of turn 3. And coming to the checkered flag, the Squares is still out front, and he's able to win it for Astolfo Motorsports. Astolfo and Daffel split the 2 duels.
Yeah, very close finish there. Kind of an inverse of Talladega last season where, Guo's on the outside and beats an Astolfo car, and now he's on the outside and loses to an Astolfo car. And we'll have to take a closer look and see exactly how the rest of the standings shook out here to see who's in this race and who's out of it. Yeah. But for that, I'll throw it back to the main guy here, Tyson Gifford.
Well, gentlemen, it was great to hear you guys in the booth. Once again, awfully similar to some of our driver co-parts down there. And you guys mentioned Ricardo Garcia was fading fast. I think he fell from the top 10 to 18th on the charts. So 18th for Ricardo Garcia. But Squarius Greenhouse Jr., Henry Guo, Ethan Harrison, Luna Bennington, Tyler Cook, Ryan Barone, Nicholas Soa, Anthony Foss, Joe Kraus, Braden Sigafos, Austin Green, Matthew Fastnot, Cam Arrow, Ian McDaniel, Ponce, and Lamar all lock themselves in to that top 16. Nicholas Garcia, Anthony Collins, Chen, Giffen, Gorse, they are all underneath the cut line. Gentlemen, it was great to have you guys up in the booth, and it will be great to have you guys here. So let's analyze this starting lineup as it'll be posted up here momentarily. We'll wait for the graphic to load. But that first row, Lily and Fastnot, and then our dual winners, Fridge and Greenhouse. A lot of surprises, I would say, in terms of not a lot of surprises in terms of teams that are up here. A lot of DAF racing representation, but Luna Bennington being up here, Nicholas Soa single car effort, Braden Sigafos single car effort. A lot of single car guys that needed to race their way in are seen here in this top 22.
Yeah, great effort by Luna Bennington, and probably one of the smaller teams in this series, if not the smallest, to get a top 10 starting spot. That's very impressive. But as you mentioned, Nicholas Soa, Braden Sigafos, lots of guys that needed a good run and went out and got it for themselves there.
Yeah, but also a lot of big names that seemingly missed the race. Dominic Anthony, we were just talking about him. Your team owner, Mr. Anthony Dominic, he didn't make the race. Lamar Race Shops had 2 cars miss the race as well, 40 and 41.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see here, Cam Arrow, the only Lamar Race Shops car to make the show, as Marnell, Nicholas Collins, Banger, Gorse, Chen, Stapleton, Giffen, Haley, and Visconti. That's why owner points matters here. They are all sorted in by those owner points. As you can see, the drivers, 5 of them going home. Carson Green, Ricardo Garcia, Stephen Colin, Sean McKean, and Dominic Anthony. They will all be watching the 500. I would say hypothetically from the stands, but they'll probably sit in pit road. But from the stands, they'll be watching the show. Quite unfortunate to see that, but that's our duels. We've set the field for the 500 and exhilarating. Lots of 3 wide action, 3 wide, almost 4 wide action. But one last word from you guys before you go. This was at night, and the temperatures are really cool. The Daytona 500, daytime, and it's going to be about 30 degrees warmer. What can you guys expect for this coming Wednesday?
Well, I, for one, am really excited to see what these drivers will track at Daytona 500 to start the season. Another season of LIMECAR is going to be exciting.
Yeah, I think what we saw with the top lane being a little bit more usable than it normally is, I'm sure that'll only be exacerbated in the daytime with the temperatures being a little bit higher. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. We saw a lot of the leader being able to retain the lead, which is something that we don't normally see. So I think there are, even with what we've observed tonight, there's a lot of unknowns, and I think it should be a great race.
Well, from myself up in the booth, our chief hype officer and director of catering, Johnny Adelaide and Anthony Dominic, as well as Jerry Chen and Dominic Anthony joining us earlier today. Thank you guys for watching the duels. We'll see you guys on Wednesday for the 500. Should be an exciting start to the season.
Bye.